What is up, Need for Speed Racers? It is I, your wheelman, Alex Cornnut. I'm here today with the Mazda RX-8 in B class, A plus, and S. We're racing in the B class, and then as we progress, you'll start drifting for points because this car starts to fall off on the race side of things, but it definitely picks up if you're trying to get some points getting it sideways. So we've got it all here. Let's dig into it. Let me show you what I've got for you, and you pick what you think is best. Now for the styling portion, as I like to do it over here, you guys, we've got a handful of body kits for this car. There's about 3 different ones you can go with. Out of the gate, the car's already got kind of a wide body kit with the way the stock fenders look. And so I would give this one a 2 out of 3. There's multiple parts you can get. There's a lot of different ways you can do it. It's a pretty sturdy car overall. I really do like it. From that, there are a lot of different mirrors you can choose. And I think the stock wheels look really, really slick on this thing. So if you're looking to tune it up, make it look your own, there's a lot of different things you can do. And really at the end of the day, this one's not bad. You got options with it. It's not like some of the other cars, but it does have plenty to work with, so you can definitely get into it there. Let's dig into the build for B class. It is cheese. There's no getting around that, but it's sturdy at B class. That being said, it is really rowdy. If you set it up for grip, you're only getting about 40%, and that's not enough. It was kicking out on me. There was really not a lot I could do to control it, so I went the other way with it. Built it as a drift race car, and it's pretty solid. So let me show you what I've got there. I did try all the engines for all the different builds, and out of the gate, the flat 12 appeals. It's got really good stats, and it's the best one. We use it through all the builds. So rather you want to start at B and then maybe try that as a race car and then work your way up and build it as a drift car later, you can do that, and you're not really losing any money by doing it that way. So I would really encourage that. Try it as a race car, and if it's not for you, run it as a drift car because it's sturdy over there. But no matter what, you're using the same engine on all the builds, so it is the 4th engine over. It is the 4.9 liter flat 12, 385 brake horsepower when we start. Now for the parts, you are doing Sport Bronze induction, Sport Bronze ECU, Silver Pro fuel system, and Sport Bronze exhaust, mated up to a Sport Bronze Roots supercharger. We can't go any higher than that because it takes it right out of the class. Do you guys see what I'm talking about? Like, we go up 1 tier and we skip all of A class and go right to A plus. So by definition, this is a cheese build, meaning if I take the intake and go 1 step up, we go from 159 to 233. That is because we are going above the mile/per-hour threshold of 130. As soon as you crest 131 mph or above, it puts it in a higher class immediately. So you can kind of cheese it down here. If you make the car with high horsepower but keep it below 130, you can fit a lot of stuff into B class. So that being the case, we've got as much horsepower in it as we can. You do run the Sport Bronze bottle of nitrous, Elite Platinum road suspension, Silver Pro brakes, because who's stopping? And then Elite Platinum road tires. I felt for the drift setup for racing it, the road was really nice. It was generating yellow boost like crazy. It was actually a really fun car to drive. Now, you have an option here. You can run the Super Gold clutch in this build, which I think is the way to go. I really like that. Or you can take that clutch down to the Sport Bronze and you can go run an upgraded bottle of nitrous and do the Silver Pro NOS. So that's up to you if you would rather go nitrous bottle or clutch. I think in the B class, strategically, the race is to get to 130 mile an hour as fast as possible. And then just hold your speed and maintain that as long as you can. Because a lot of the cars, they do top out around there. So that being the case, quick shifting into 3rd, 2nd gear, depending on how you're launching, and then just getting up to speed as fast as possible seemed like the best bet. So I went with clutch instead of nitrous in this case. But that's going to be a little bit of personal preference. For the drivetrain, we are running the 4-speed Sport Bronze transmission, and we are going to run the Elite Platinum differential. For this build in B class, you can get away with just the Sport Bronze one if you want to save a couple of bucks. But we're just going 80% on the drift, so that's why I say Sport Bronze. And then the auxiliaries, you are going to be running nitrous drift and nitrous grip. That way you can get some grip turns, you can get some drift turns, and get the most out of that race status. For the handling, slide the slider 80% to the drift side of things. It was a little too drifty when I had it kicked out more than that, so this is the minimum drift I can put in the car and still keep it in its class. And so 80% drift on that. Steering sensitivity, I run 2 clicks high. You guys go with what you feel. It's totally up to you, of course. Now downforce, run it all the way high. The last 2 clicks is B159. Nowhere else with this setup. All the rest of that is A. So you got to be last 2. Traction control off, and then drift entry, gas or brake tap. That's a personal preference thing. I run both when I'm setting up a drift car, so no matter what trigger I'm pulling and flicking on, it works. That's going to be the B-Class Mazda RX-8 Sprint R. 130 top speed. That's about right. It'll maybe do like 132 with Redline Tech. 449 for the horsepower and 416 for the torque. So there's a lot of power crammed into this little beast, and it's a pretty fun little B car. It's definitely a little cheese, but it's not as fast as the RSR or the Rosa. I'd probably put it, you know, maybe definitely in the top 10, but I don't think it's as good as the Beetle or the GTI. So there's a couple cars that are better than it. Maybe 5th rank, something like that, 6th. It's kind of on par with what the 2015 Civic Type R is, and that's a cheese build as well. So at the end of the day, it's still a good car. I would recommend it for everybody. And start here, and if you don't like it, just build it into a drift car, like I'm going to show you right now in A+. The A+ drift car is pretty solid. I was able to score lots of points with it. This car is really unique in the way the transmission mates up with this motor. Our top speed's only 149, but we're pushing like 648 horsepower and quite a lot of torque. So for this one, we're still using that same engine like I told you before. It is the 4.9 liter flat 12, 4th engine over, 385 brake horsepower when we start. Now for the parts, we're going to go in. It is still Sport Bronze induction. We are going to run this up to a Super Gold ECU. We're going to take our fuel system, go back down to Sport Bronze exhaust, and then you're going to run the Elite Platinum Screw Supercharger. Run the screw, it's mechanical, gives you the most linear torque curve, so that way you can kick it out and have that same torque pretty much anywhere in the RPM range. Nitrous, Sport Bronze NOS. You are going to take your suspension, you will make a change from the B-Class build, and you will go down to Elite Platinum regular suspension, so you're going to be swapping away from the roads. And you're still going to run Silver Pro brakes because nobody's stopping. And then you will switch your tires from Elite Roads to Elite Platinum Drift tires. Putting the drift tires in there just allows it to hold a really good slide, get a good angle, and keep it out there. You will change the clutch down to Sport Bronze. And then you are going to keep the transmission the same as the 4-speed Sport Bronze transmission. Elite Platinum Diff. That way you can run it all the way full drift. Actually, I think you can get away with, Sport Bronze Diff as well. You can get away with that for the drift build. I always run the Elite Platinum so I can put it anywhere I want, but that will give you the most out of it. And then Nitrous Drift, ultra important for the drift events when you're going for those points. The other one's a throwaway. It doesn't matter. That second auxiliary slot is really just go with what you feel. Handling slider. Slide that slider 100% anti-Beyonce to the right, to the right. Steering sensitivity, still 2 clicks high for me. Now here's the deal. Downforce, you can go anywhere you want with this build for the A+. So go all the way low if you want it to kick out a little further and kind of hold more of a slide. It'll make it slower to transition from corner to corner. If you run it all the way up, it makes it turn in a little faster so you can change direction a little quicker. Traction control off, drift entry, gas or brake tap, do whatever you feel. That is going to be the A+ Mazda RX-8. It's 268 or 269 depending on where you put that downforce. Your top speed is 149, which is plenty for a drift event, so you're not going to get walked there. Like I said before, 648 on that horsepower, and your max torque is 584. There are some other engines you can play with and get very similar stats out of, but for the sake of some consistency here, and because I was able to drift this with no problems, I really didn't deviate from the motor because I think that keeps the build a little cheaper for you guys. And when you're drifting for points, the overall composition of the parts isn't quite as important as when we're racing for tenths of a second, whereas when we're just going for points, technique is much more important. Alright, let me show you what I got for S. Now for the S-Class, there's 2 different engines I'm going to recommend. There's the flat 12 we've been building the whole time, and it works. It's what I use in the gameplay footage, but there is one engine that has like far and away better stats, and so the way I was putting this video together, I wanted to use the same engine for all of it, but I just can't like let you guys exist without knowing that this is really here. So I'm going to show you the flat 12 build in a second, which is the same engine we've been using, but the very best engine is the 5.2 liter V12, because that engine takes us to 1175 on the horsepower, where the flat 12 only gets us to 999. So we're missing about almost 200 horsepower out of the deal, and we're missing about 100 foot-pounds of torque. So if you're wanting to build up the very best engine, is the 5.2 liter V12, and I'll go through all of them with you. I've got all of these built out to the max. Truthfully, it's far and away the best. So the build for the V12 is going to be just Elite Platinum everything. Put a screw supercharger in it, and then a super gold nitrous bottle, and then that gets you right there to 328. The rest of the chassis stays the same. Just make sure you put a regular clutch in it. 4-speed transmission as well. But then if you would like to build the same engine to save money and still get relatively good performance, the flat 12 is pretty much the same. It's Elite Platinum everything as well, including the the screw supercharger, but you get an Elite Platinum bottle of NOS. And then you actually got extra points to play with, and so you can tack in and throw in an Elite Clutch if you would so choose. Really, it doesn't matter too much on what you go with here, but I would say if you're looking to min-max and get the very most out of this car in S, I'm going to recommend that you go with the V12, but if you're wanting to build up that same engine, kind of keep with the theme of the car that I started with in B and then A+, you can build in the flat 12 and be a happy boy. It's not bad. You're really only missing about 100 foot-pounds of torque, which is a lot, but it still gets the car sideways and you don't have problems with it. But if you're looking to get the most out of it, go with the V12. Just go to the moon with it, and you end up with 1175 on your horsepower and 957 on your torque. It's crazy. It kicks out. It's a fast car. I've got no problems with it. I think it's very, very sturdy. So give that a look, you guys. See what you think. Stay tuned for the gameplay footage. All the gameplay footage I do is in the flat 12. I do not use the V12. So that'll kind of show you how it can perform as and the scores you can get. And then if you want to go nuts with it, you can build this other engine up and go for it. But at the end of the day, when I'm putting stuff together, I want to show you guys kind of all the options so you can make your decision for yourself and decide what you think is best. Like I say, in drifting, I really think it comes down to technique and lines more than the engine build for the car. I mean, 100 foot-pounds of torque when you're sideways just bouncing off the rev limiter, I don't think you notice it nearly as much. But that's just my personal opinion. I'm not drifting nearly as much as some of you guys are, I'm sure. So go with what you feel. That's me. Guys, thank you so much for watching the video, supporting me and supporting my channel. It helps me out a lot. It's awesome. Grab a membership role down below. You can be a member of the channel. It's like $1 a month, and you get badges and stuff. And you can go up from there. And it supports me in a big way. But the YouTube algorithm, the more members you have, the more times they put your video in front of other people. It used to be views and clicks and likes, and now it's like membership takes a huge portion of that algorithm. So do what you can to help me out. I appreciate it. Stay tuned for that gameplay footage. It's me and Lex getting sideways, having some fun, and I'm gonna call it there. You guys have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye. Let's see if we can summon our drift. Summon our inner slide QT. Still kind of morning. I haven't got my wits about me yet. That's why. Oh no, we rear-ended the dude. I was looking over at my shifter to make sure I grabbed third. Now we're working for it. Oh, okay, dude. I got this post for you. I want you to see it. That guy did us dirty. I'm not gonna let that happen again. We gotta catch these boys now. Gonna take the jump for some boost, so that way we can then get in the draft. We're a little too far back to get the draft. We gotta catch Lex and then Dakar, or whatever dude's with us. We've got a lap to do it. I've got faith in us. Let's go! True DRIFTIUM. Alright, we're gonna slide in and boost out. Alright. We did it. We won. Okay. We got it. So that's gonna be your Mazda RX-8. Don't skill issue. You can probably do really good with this car in B. Let me show you what it does as an actual drift build. Alrighty, we got our buddy Lex with us. We're doing A+. We're trying to cram a lot of different gameplay into the video, so we're skipping around a little bit, going B, A+, S, and all that. But there's no B class drifting for points, so we're racing there. But I think that A+ is really saturated with a lot of good race cars, and this is not that good of a race car, even if you're drifting it. But if you're running it for points, I think it definitely has a place in the world. So we'll quick shift into third. We'll start our drift out there. Try to steer into it. Don't want to miss our checkpoint. That's mega crucial when you're doing this stuff, you guys. Just making sure you're not missing your checkpoints, because then you lose your combo multiplier. Oh wow. No. Okay, cool. We pulled out of it. We're using our boost to recover there. We're okay. I really thought we were in trouble there, because if you get reset, you lose your combo multiplier, and then you might as well just bid your race adieu. But we're coming back here. Let's see if we can get a nice turn around this one. Worked out pretty well, actually. We're trying to get our combo up to 5 before we bank, so that way we get ×5 on our 7,000 we've got sitting there. Let's go into this real hot. Oh, that was sweet. That was a good drift. That felt really nice. Points-wise, I haven't done enough drifting on this track to know what a good point score really is. But I know that the car's doing what I like it to do, and that's really important. We're going to straighten out right here, bank our score. So we can start a new combo. Try not to hit the rocks. Thank you, video game. Nice. Oh yeah, it's friendly. Try to carry as much speed into this as we can. Downshift into third. Nice long drift there. We're gonna bank again. I do like the way this thing will hold a line. It definitely has no problem getting into it. Great little drift car, you guys. Uh, 112,760. I don't know a high score on that track, but that felt pretty sturdy. I was really happy with that overall. Let's move on to S. Overall, pretty sturdy little car. Today has been full DRIFTIUM for me, and that's pretty rare. We're going to take a nice wide line here. Oh shoot. I was kind of trying to hold that drift with the nitrous, and I just kind of skill issue. We'll get on the next lap, see if I can put it together better on the next lap. These bank corners are really deceiving, because it's like, I feel like once you're on it and you're sideways, you're okay. But I think initiating a drift while it's in the embankment is kind of tough. Like, you kind of have to start your slide before you get there, so that way you can actually go around the banking correctly. Otherwise, I don't know, I've not had a ton of success getting sideways on the banking. Right now, what we're trying to do is carry some speed into this section. I've been waiting on that our 3 bar to hit it here so we can carry a ton of speed and try to carry a super wide angle around this. Oh, that's so satisfying. Let's go. We're gonna bank here. I would have liked to have banked before that corner, but it just didn't happen. We should be able to bank at the end of this corner. Yeah, that was really cool. I do like this track for that one reason. Just being able to put the car where you want it and do that loop is really satisfying. Let's see if we can get at least a ×2 combo going here. There it is. 113, 160. Not bad. That big circle is super satisfying. This car is a fun drift car. I think you guys will like it. Give it a go. Slamming it in 4th gear and just running it out is really where it's at. But thank you so much for watching, tuning in, supporting me in the channel. Have a great rest of your day. Bye-bye.